I would say I probably checked out as soon as I had my son. I never planned to be a mother, but I thought when becoming a mother, I would have a partner. I learned quickly after giving birth that he looked at me as a 1960s, like, you cook, you clean, you take care of the child.
If you want to be happy for a year, get married. If you want to be happy for a decade, get a dog.
Am I the asshole for leaving during my wife's labor? Yes. So my wife went into labor around 6 p.m. on Sunday. I got sleepy. And we're expecting twins. It quickly turned into a very painful process. She kept cutting off the blood pressure to my hand when she squeezed and nearly sprayed my shirt with vomit. Imagine how she's feeling. Am I supposed to feel bad for you, brother? My hand hurt and she almost stained my shirt.
Hello fam, how are you all doing? I hope you all are doing good. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. Imagine having your husband or your boyfriend prioritize his video game over you getting into labor. The video coming up is about a man complaining about the fact that he had to stop his video game to take his wife, his pregnant wife, to the hospital. Let's have a look at the video.
A husband demanded that his wife pay the entire hospital bill for the birth of their child after she got an epidural. A listener of the Dave Ramsey Show wrote in, saying that her and her husband typically split everything 50-50 in their marriage when it comes to finances, and they generally keep their money separate. The new mom had decided to give birth without medication, but after 24 hours of labor, she decided to get an epidural. Now her husband expects her to pay the entire $8,000 bill herself because she's the one that couldn't hold out for a few extra hours, jacking up the bill.
Am I the asshole for leaving during my wife's labor? Yes. So my wife went into labor around 6 p.m. on Sunday. I got sleepy. And we're expecting twins. It quickly turned into a very painful process. She kept cutting off the blood pressure to my hand when she squeezed and nearly sprayed my shirt with vomit. Imagine how she's feeling. Am I supposed to feel bad for you, brother? My hand hurt and she almost stained my shirt. She has two humans coming outside of her body. Around 3 a.m. my dad calls. I work for my dad's company and we had a presentation for clients Monday morning that I had to get ready for. My dad heard my wife was in labor but told me he needed me on this presentation. He said there was nothing I could do to help my wife and seeing the baby come out was overrated and people don't prepare you for the gore. He said he needed me to rest up and make myself presentable for the presentation. My wife's labor was progressing very slowly and we were all certain she would need forceps or other assistance to deliver the babies. She's having a terrible time in labor. Corporate America waits for no one. Yeah. I realized that I couldn't help her here and my dad was counting on me, so I told her I needed to leave. She started screaming at me so loudly that a few nurses rushed over to our room. I ended up doing the presentation with the clients and things went well. I leave the office to see a text on my phone that said my wife delivered an hour ago at 10:30 a.m. and that they had to use forceps. I would have missed that meeting had I stayed, and my dad has given me everything he could possibly give me in life, so I didn't want to let him down. So you wanted to let your own kids down. Yeah. I had responsibilities I had to take care of while my wife is still screaming at me saying that she was alone when they had destroyed her body. I'm the only one who works and her mom herself said that she was emotional and overreacting. My wife even went so far as to saying that her family would disown her if she was the first of them to get divorced, but she doesn't consider me her husband right now. So am I the asshole? Yes. I hope she leaves you and takes you for every fucking penny that you've worked so hard for. All the money that your dad handed to you on a silver spoon.
And that have to get up on a whim and pack the bag, and then they have to drive.
But so does the woman.
Yeah, but she can feel in her body that what's happening. She can feel her water breaking.
Yeah, and that's worse.
No, but like she can mentally prepare at least. She knows that it's about to happen. Men could be in the middle of like playing a video game or something and they have to all of a sudden drop everything they're doing and rush to the hospital and stay up for 24 hours helping their wife that's complaining.
Just imagine what that man had to say. It's really concerning when men downplay what women go through during pregnancy and labor. The idea that men had to be called in the middle of whatever they're doing to drive their pregnant partner to the hospital is somehow more stressful than what the woman is enduring is misguided. Pregnancy is an incredibly demanding experience, and a man supporting his partner through it is just part of that man being caring. It's all about empathy, and she chose to make the sacrifice for the both of you. Let's have a look at the comment section. In the middle of playing a video game or something and they have to drop what they are doing, bro. Imagine having to drop what you're doing to take care of your kids multiple times throughout the day. Please don't let this man procreate. This is exactly why some men should never have kids. The way they act like taking care of their own children is some extreme inconvenience is wild. Imagine being upset that you have to pause a video game to be present for your own child. Meanwhile, mothers are constantly on duty, having to drop what they are doing 100 times in a day without complaining, just handling things with grace. To be honest with you, the bar for men in fatherhood is truly on the ground, is beneath the ground. Is this the laziest, least empathetic man alive? That is an absolute insane take. He has no business being a partner or a father ever. Please tell me this is your stupid brother and not your stupid brother, because babe, if that man is yours, he needs not to be anymore. I mean, I woke my partner up who had fallen asleep on the couch after playing video games all day. When my contractions were getting strong, he got mad at me for waking him up. Just imagine. The last comment is actually insane. Imagine being in labor, in pain, and the man who is supposed to support you is being mad that you woke him up after that same man had spent all day playing video games. The level of selfishness is off the charts, if you ask me. This is why so many women feel like they are raising their partners instead of having an actual equal relationship. If a man can't even be present for labor, what does that even say about the rest of the relationship? Obviously, it says that that man is not willing to step up after that baby is born. So if you're a woman that is in this situation, just have this at the back of your mind that you might be the one doing everything for that child in that relationship. My dad drove my mom to the hospital because she thought she was going into labor with me. It was Braxton Hicks and she was sent home. A week later, she said, okay, I think it's time. He didn't believe her and told her to take the bus. She had to take 3 bus rides to the hospital and then I was born. This is actually heartbreaking, to be honest. Being in labor, in pain, and the man who helped you create the baby is telling you to take a bus because he doesn't believe you. Taking 3 bus rides in labor, that's a lot. This is why so many women say they feel alone in relationships and motherhood. Some men don't see pregnancy and childbirth as life-threatening and as an exhausting experience. Rather, they see it as an inconvenience to them, the men. And the saddest part is that stories like this are not even rare.
I would say I probably checked out as soon as I had my son. I never planned to be a mother, but I thought when becoming a mother, I would have a partner. I learned quickly after giving birth that he looked at me as a 1960s, like, you cook, you clean, you take care of the child, and I'm the provider, I work. And so when I would ask for help, it was just flat out no. And I started feeling like a single mother and a single woman in the marriage. I was convincing myself to stay, and it just got to a point where I was like, no, if I'm by myself, I might as well be by myself.
This is why some women say they regret motherhood. He convinced her to have a child and then abandoned her with all the responsibilities while he sat back and called himself a provider. But providing isn't just all about money. It's about showing up, being involved, and actually parenting. Instead, she's left doing everything, raising the child, cleaning, cooking, maintaining the home, and probably juggling her work too. And the worst part of it is, if she dares speaks up, society will gaslight her. They will say at least he's providing. They act as if money alone raises a child, as if she should be grateful being a live-in maid and a full-time nanny. This explains why so many women feel trapped in motherhood. It's not the kids, it's the way men check out and leave them drowning in responsibilities. Having seen all these, when women say they don't want kids, the same men will be the first to push them into it. Why do they usually do that? Probably because they want the idea of a family, but not the actual work that comes with it. My father proudly taught that he never changed a diaper, and there were 3 of us. I can't imagine the type of hell my mom experienced. She is happily remarried with a husband who does all the cooking. She is in her passion career as an investigative attorney, something my father would never have allowed. This her comment is a proof that some men see fatherhood as just having kids rather than raising them. Imagine a man proudly bragging about him never changing a diaper. It's very different if the wife stopped him from doing that. I understand that some women don't like their men assisting with diaper change. I get that. So the father thinks that is an achievement. Some men can be so mean. They would literally see the woman struggling. They would see the woman trying to juggle everything. They would see the woman losing weight, falling ill from too much workload, but they will choose not to assist. That same man would beat his hand on his chest and call himself a good husband and a good father because he's providing. Ladies, having her mother remarry and being happy and feeling free and finding a man that could do all that for her shows that they still have some good men out there. I say this all the time, we have exceptions, but finding those exceptions is where the problem is. This comment is coming from a man. I think by now she realizes that being a single mother and feeling like a single mother are 2 different dynamics, because the woman said that she feels like she's single in the relationship. So this is all he has to say. He's very insensitive. Feeling like a single mother isn't just a feeling. It is a reality when a husband refuses to do his part in a marriage. When a woman becomes the sole caregiver, the cleaner and the cook, and she's also the one in charge of making decisions when it comes to managing the home, while the man is just existing in the house. So what's the difference between being an actual single mother and being a single mother in a marriage? It's the same thing. It's funny how some men love to get defensive when women say they feel like single mothers in marriages. I would expect those men to focus on proving women wrong by stepping up. Of course, we know they wouldn't do that. They always get defensive just to dismiss what the woman is saying. They don't like to hear the truth. Being married legally does not erase the exhaustion of doing everything alone. The next comment is also coming from a man. Find a way to handle your postpartum instead of destroying your family. Then he has the laughing emoji. There's really nothing funny. The lack of empathy in his comment is loud. His response just shows how men don't value the pain and struggle women are going through. This is exactly one of the reasons women prefer to suffer in silence, especially when they are surrounded by men who see their pain as an inconvenience instead of something worthy of care and support. Ladies, regardless of how the men around you make you feel, if you're not comfortable, always speak up. Speak up, and if you can leave that environment, do so. Men are selfish. They really don't care about our pain. They only care about what we can do for them.
If you want to be happy for a year, get married. If you want to be happy for a decade, get a dog. And if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, make a garden.
It's a group of men. When they get to 50, they start falling apart. I found out just by doing this podcast. There's this term called hospice wife. So,
I've heard of it.
right. So I'll give you how it is. Hospice wife. So a hospice wife, basically a man above 50. Marries a woman. Finally, he's been playing the field for 50 years and now he's ready to get married. His body is falling apart. He's got hypertension. He's got diabetes, heart issues, the whole 9. And now he's ready to get married and settle down. So now he marries a woman maybe 10 years younger or maybe in the same age group. And now he's marrying her, but only for him to have someone to take care of him.
If you were to have asked me if I thought my husband was going to leave me, even the day before, I would have said absolutely not, and I would have thought you were nuts. And even my family, all of our neighbors, all of our friends, they would agree that there was no signs, 0 signs of him leaving. It was just like a sudden surprise to all of us. I had a godly husband. We were on a prayer team. Our prayer team would agree that they did not see any signs of him. We were just like this adorable, loving couple who We were in love. We went to church on a prayer team. We prayed for our marriage every day. One of his last texts to me was him praying for our marriage and our love, and he called me his adorable wifey that he said he would love forever. So I had no indications. This was like something out of a movie. This shows me how powerful the devil is and how he looks for just the tiniest little open door, and he slithers in and he comes to kill, steal, and destroy your life.
I will be right to say this is something all men would love to have in their old age. Be it in their marriage, you would see that men that were treating their wives badly when they were younger would suddenly stop treating them badly when they get older, because they expect that woman to cater for them, to be there for them, to nurse them, especially when they are down with serious illness and all that. As for those men that refuse to get married, they spend their prime years running through women, avoiding commitment and living recklessly. Then suddenly, when their bodies starts breaking down in their 50s, then they realize they need a nurse. I mean, a wife. Ladies, it's not about love. It's not about partnership. It's about convenience for them. They want someone to cook for them, remind them to take their meds, and drive them to doctor's appointments. The same men who called marriage a trap in their 30s and 40s now see it as a lifeline. And the worst part of it is this: they often target younger women or women who have been conditioned to be caregivers. They expect those women to step in and do emotional and physical labor, things they neglected to do for themselves. It is entitlement for me, simple and plain. Let's talk about the lady that said her husband left. That story shows that there is no guarantee in marriage or relationship. A man can wake up and choose to leave, even when you think your relationship is sailing fine. A lot of women are raised to believe that marriage is the ultimate security. But have this at the back of your mind: there is no guarantee in marriage. A man can say all the right things, pray with you, pamper you, spoil you with gifts, do everything you want him to do, and still wake up and leave. That's why it's very important for us to always prioritize ourselves emotionally, financially, and mentally. Depending on a man for stability is a huge gamble. If you would love to watch more videos like this, click this video to hear a man say God created men to cheat, and I will see you all in another one.